to That Wrestling Podcast.
Jay, go ahead with your intro.
Oh, you were serious about that?
Yes. What do you got? Anything?
Musical guests. Me first and the Gimme Gimmes.
Oh,
and
classic.
Your host, Brian.
Hey, thank you very much. All right, we'll work out the kinks on that for another week.
I didn't think you were serious. Okay.
Yeah. We got to do some more show prep for these things.
Nevertheless, is it because I took his side last time when you said, "Did you want a new intro?" That happened?
No, I thought we reached a gentleman's agreement. I was like,
I didn't think you were serious about that.
Yeah,
I after that I missed the Good Bad Guys of Wrestling podcast.
Oh, yeah. Maybe for one last time, the Good Bad Guys of Wrestling podcast are back, talking all things of the week that was in professional wrestling, with intros still to come. Improvement on the way. It is me and Jason and Joe. No Kevin for this week. He is building a giant life-size Mario Kart track in his basement.
Rainbow Raceway.
Yeah. So he's quite busy, and we understand because that's a lot of commitment to do that. So you got us three, and we got a couple of different fun things to talk about for this week. Why don't we get into first Monday Night Raw, as it was week 2 of the 2-hour era. How did it feel? Did you guys watch live first off, and kind of how did the 2 hours feel now that this was a second week under the belt?
I did watch live, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I am here for it. You know, my favorite thing is a 1-hour wrestling show.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't think we're going to get that from WWE.
No.
So, the 2-hour Raw, you know, it was just one of those things. Like, I didn't catch the oversaturation of ads like you had talked about last week, Brian.
Right.
Yeah,
and
I thought it was better.
Yeah, so I'm not complaining. And I don't know what's going to happen when they go to Netflix. I don't know if it's been stated 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, whatever. But like, the 2-hour Raw was good. It was in, it was out, it was over. And I was in bed at 10:03 because they don't have run. No run over.
Yeah. Joe? How'd the feel of it?
Again, I'm getting used to the whole falling asleep at 10 o'clock on a Monday. I think it was like 10:30 this time for me. It felt quick, but it also wasn't live. So
it was a tape show.
It was a tape show, so that's what made it
Wait,
feel.
what?
It was a tape show.
Yeah.
It was not live. That's why all those vignettes were happening with American Made and Bronson Reed and all those interviews that were
I did not know that.
And Braun Breaker. So it was just a continuation of the taping from last week. So it was probably like an extra hour for the people that were there, but they stretched it out to 2. So that's another reason why I thought it felt quicker, because it had that old school feel of, it was taped.
So
yeah,
did you guys know ahead of time that the War Raiders were coming back? Because
nope. I didn't look up any spoilers. I don't do that anymore.
I didn't either. Yeah, I knew it was taped, and I just avoided it altogether and just said, "I'll just watch it. Who cares?"
And I can't believe you were live, because when they came out and it said War Raiders, I looked at my phone waiting for you to just lose it. And when 5 minutes happened, 10 minutes happened, the match was over with and we didn't get it. So I'm like, okay, Jason's not live. I'm not going to spoil this for him. And you were live the whole time. That's why I said the next day, I'm like, I knew it. He wasn't live, but you were.
I tweeted the War Raiders with like a couple exclamation points and a smiley face as it happened.
Okay.
I was not aware of the I am
text free.
Maybe I'm the worst wrestling fan ever. Not it wasn't. Man, what have I become?
They're gonna do that. What I read, they're gonna do that again in December.
They probably do that
the holidays.
Holiday time show.
So like the holiday shows are gonna be taped now. So
it's like us. We do the Christmas episode
like next week.
And then we do
I better start shopping.
And we do, the TWPs at the end of the year. So,
yeah.
Wow. But the War Raiders are back.
They are.
And
I don't know if they're just going to be badass ass kickers or, heels or faces, because they just, really stomped Tozawa and Otis.
Mostly
it doesn't
Tozawa.
matter. It was just good to have it back.
Well, I am not.
Mostly Tozawa. Yeah.
There is the War Raider shirt is there. Nice.
Now, what does this do with Sarah Logan?
I mean, they don't need the horns or the antlers anymore.
Nope.
So she could just come out and be a badass too, but less fur, no horns this time. And yeah, I'm glad the War Raiders are back. Glad. I love it. If you know, you know that I've been on that bandwagon for a long time.
From the War Machine days.
Yeah.
Before NXT.
Ring of Honor stuff with Jane Taylor and a guy that kind of has vanished, Keith Lee.
Keith Lee, yeah.
What happens when you go to Jacksonville?
Yeah, they've been around for a minute. I know, they had some injuries, and it's cool that they're back. I don't think we caught, because this is part of like the tag team title tournament. I don't think they showed like brackets or anything.
Mm-mm.
No, I feel like it's just going to be a bunch of matches, and then like 3 winners go into a triple threat, because that's how they've been doing.
Yeah, they do that. You're right.
So
yeah. I know they announced some more matches. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head, but yeah, I didn't see the brackets of like, oh, they advanced to the next round. So yeah, maybe it'll be that like triple threat sort of bit that they've been doing for that. And yeah, I thought too, guys. I mean, no surprise, it flies by. It's like 9:35. And I think they were like getting ready for the main event. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. We're just about done. And that I'm not in bed at 10 like you guys are. My body's just not that way. So yeah, that hour spent afterward of like, I'll unload the dishwasher and
okay.
It's boring.
This is why you should get a PS5.
Because that's what I did.
This hour opened up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't fall asleep, so I played a game of college football before I went to bed. Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, this would be the opportunity. You're right. No 11 o'clock Mondays of mandatory wrestling watching. Well, nevertheless, so War Raiders are back. The other kind of thread that was happening through the show, and it really was a continuation from SmackDown, as of course Jimmy and Roman kind of came out and said their piece, and Jimmy said, we need some help here. We need some backup. And Roman, of course, gave the no yeet to that. So Jimmy, though, after the beatdown at the end of SmackDown, was like, come on, we need somebody. We need help. And he tried to recruit Jay. Jay has refused to talk, refused to, give him the time of day. But you know what? Don't call me a mind reader. I'm presuming eventually they're going to get back together. All right? Shocker of shockers. Don't think I'm going out on a ledge here. So if that's the case, how do you think it happens that they are able to convince Roman and Jay to come back together? How would you make that happen?
Go ahead, Joe.
I would say it would have to happen at Crown Jewel. Set up something at Crown Jewel, since it will be dual branded anyway, and that's where it would make the most sense. And that's like, the Bloodline could come out and attack Cody to cost him the match, continue with that saga. And then Jimmy comes out, Roman comes out reluctantly, and then they're still getting beat down. And then that's where Jay comes out. And is he there to help the Bloodline, or is he there to help Cody? And that's where it can still continue until Survivor Series.
Okay.
When Roman Reigns was the tribal chief, he never flubbed his lines. He never kind of lost track. And that's what happened Friday night on SmackDown. You go back and watch that promo with Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at that moment that I have come to the conclusion the bloodline has jumped the shark. They own the NWO now, latter years. And therefore, I don't care anymore about the bloodline.
Aw.
Wow.
Roman isn't polished when he's the good guy.
Yeah, it's new. That's true.
So go back to watch him on Friday on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
He's just, he's talking. He's like, yeah. And then
He's pandering.
I think he just lost his train of thought.
Okay.
But it just made me realize like this bloodline thing needs to end. I still love Jacob Fatu and Tongaloa and Tama Tongaloa. Like I all those guys. Like I think if they're cool, just the bloodline storyline, I think has run its course for me. And it started Friday with Roman not being Roman on the mic.
All right.
So go back and watch.
Yeah. I'll give it another look. See, sometimes Friday Night SmackDown is accompanied by some adult beverages, and you're kind of just having some side conversations. So maybe I'll go back and pull that up. But I get it because it's different, and it kind of leads me into my way of thinking about how it happens. There's one guy that's still, we haven't seen in a long, long time, and that's the wise man.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's got to be Paul who somehow, gets back into the picture and, gives his wise man knowledge to both Roman and Jay to basically say, you guys need each other. You're family. We're blood. We're the bloodline. Then that's how it has to come together, that the entire OG bloodline with Paul Heyman, is the glue to make it happen.
That's really good. I didn't even think of that. But I mean, realistically, there's just going to be a beatdown. Jay's going to come out and help, and then it's going to be hugs and high fives, and whatever's. And
the other one I was thinking of, but it got trumped by the Heyman return. Roman has to say, I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Roman did so much to Jay. Think about from the very beginning of the pandemic, all that stuff from like a Hell in a Cell match and all these things that he did to Jay, and kept him under his thumb, and they had good times as well, but always at odds. And for Jay to finally come back home, Roman's gotta go like, my bad.
I disagree.
I
disagree. He doesn't have to apologize. Jay got him back. He helped cause him lose the championship at WrestleMania. They're even.
What I did like was Jimmy Uso.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that acknowledged you, dude.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm the only one that cares. So like I enjoyed that part of it. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. He was saying like, you don't have the Ulafala. You don't have, this. He's like, you got me. Right. So yeah, it's interesting. Well, let's get on to NXT then. Just a couple quick things. How did you think of the debut of Stephanie Vaquer? She was a very highly publicized signing because she had just came off the AEW
New Japan
Forbidden Door card.
Not New Japan.
Exactly. So it's like that was the first kind of exposure for me of this girl, and she was big in CMLL and I think New Japan, and WWE snatched her up, and she makes her debut on NXT. Did you guys think pretty good?
Her face paint's a little weird, but she's still great. I really enjoyed the match. Julia last week. The stuff with Roxanne and Cora now, and Jada Parker and Sol Ruka and Wendy. Like everything is really clicking on that women's roster, and with these two Japanese wrestling superstars coming in, that's just gonna make everybody better.
Yeah.
It's just another one of those examples that the best women's roster in all of professional wrestling is in NXT. There's no arguing that one. It's hands down above the main roster. So it's just another it's just another great chess piece in this game that we're going to continue watching.
I'll throw in a caveat for my next question. Talking about the main event was the triple threat to find out who Trick's #1 contender is against Halloween Havoc. It was Ethan Page, Wesley, and Javon Evans. Hell of a match. That was like the match that I enjoyed the most of any wrestling I watched this week. Those guys were killing it. Ethan Page wins, guys. What do you think? Right call, wrong call?
Of course, it's the right call. It's the era of ego. Yes. Yes.
You're ready for round 3.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I want to see him on the main roster, like now.
Okay. So you think
yeah, I think he loses, but I think he should have. When he was on Raw last week, talking about like setting up something with CM Punk because it's like, yo, your guy cost me my title. That would have been like he's main roster ready. I know why they're doing this, but it's just like I would have liked to have seen him have a short cup of coffee run in NXT like Kevin Owens did or Drew McIntyre when he came back did. So I was really hoping for, since we know Trick's not losing it anytime soon, Wesley get a little bit of shine on Halloween Havoc. Just me.
Yeah. That's where my head was going to. I've kind of enjoyed this Wesley heel run a little more than I would have thought because he's a littler dude and he's a high flyer. And that usually doesn't always fit well with heels, but I thought he's been really good. I love that stuff that he was doing with his old Rascal partners with the TNA crossover. But here's the question that I was kind of teasing there a second ago. Talking about what you said, Jay, about the depth of the NXT women's division. Joe, like you said, best women's division in all of wrestling. What would you think if NXT went to being an all women's wrestling show? Because I saw somebody suggest that online, basically saying right now the women in NXT are pretty above the men's roster of NXT. And they're like, I wouldn't hate it if they turned into just the all women's show because there's so much talent that they have.
I would be open to a second NXT show. That's all.
Would this be on CW?
That's
the thing. They're on a network now, so it's like, and
I'm guessing
does it translate dollars?
They can't do it's NXT, so they're CW, so it's not like they can do the women's show on Peacock. You know? I don't know. I mean, no. Do I want them to change it to an all women's show? No, but I would be cool if they did a second show where it was just women. But
yeah,
the women would still be on the regular show as well.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Joe, your reaction to that?
How about we just have an NXT all women's premium live event? Bring that back.
Oh yeah, what was that show called?
Evolution.
They did
Evolution.
Yes. You could do
that
NXT
back
Evolution.
I
have it be all NXT, no main roster, all NXT Evolution.
So we need all the women in WWE, and it needs to happen at the Sphere.
Oh, okay. That's a good one too.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
I think there's an angle there.
And that's where
Charlotte
they can
returns to win the title.
You're just making Joe just throw his lunch out.
No, and that's where they debuted like the new women's like secondary title, the like the women's Intercontinental or U.S. Championship.
Oh yeah,
that Chelsea Green wins.
Oh, you've been pulling
that's
that
my
card
girl
for a minute.
Oh yeah, and she's getting like an organic face turn now. The crowds are like, she's getting a huge pop when she's coming out now, and it's not just like.
Guy.
And she's the bad guy, but I don't think she's gonna. I think they're gonna turn her because of like the crowds. You can't ignore them anymore.
I guess
it's not just me.
I'm not so much. I mean, because she's so great, but I'm not so much thrilled with the whole like the Chelsea you stink thing.
That's funny.
It feels very like Vince McMahon said, like, the kids are gonna love this one, pal. She's like a stinky girl. She fell in the trash.
It's like when Natty had the farting gimmick.
Yeah, right. I don't want to. I think we could do better, but he pulls it off because she's great.
But Chelsea is selling it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I know. Anything to get her, anything to still get her character and get her on television is not a bad thing.
It's really good.
Yeah, I
It's
just hope
still the E still stands for entertainment.
I hope she just takes a couple showers soon, and it's not that much longer that we have to see it. That's all. That's all I'm asking. Cardona, help her out. Come on, broski.
What does he know? No company wants him.
Right.
I'm just saying he can take a shower with her or something. He's got to figure something out. That's all.
He'll get that indie stink on her, and she doesn't want
Oh,
that.
I know. That's true. I'm sure coming out of those GCW locker rooms, that's not.
They
too
don't have
pleasant.
showers at GCW. He's already,
No. He's like I'm changing in an alley. Yeah.
and they don't have water.
No.
Or air conditioning at their events, right, Brian?
Whew, not at Harpo's.
And
That sucks.
that one Kevin and I went to in Vegas, it's rough.
Mm. Love that indie life, baby. Jay, you checked out AEW Wrestle Dream.
Yeah.
What was your takeaways, buddy?
I don't really remember.
It just ended 10 minutes ago.
No, look, the ending was weird.
Yeah, a lot of buzz about the ending.
Very just why they tried to. You took his title and you hurt him. Why do you have to kill him? Like, who is telling him, Mox, hey, go kill Bryan Danielson? Like, I don't know. For me, Darby and Brody King was a fucking crazy ass match. Brody got pushed off the top rope out to the floor and back bumped on the steel steps. And then Darby coffin dropped on the steel steps.
That sucks
It's
for Brody King. Oh,
I love Brody King. I think he should have been the one to defeat Bryan Danielson for the title, but that's another story for another time. Willow had a really good match too, but I don't remember with who.
Mariah, I think, right?
Yes.
Mariah May. Mm-hmm.
Really good. Watching it live, when it was the Bucks and Private Party, I turned it off. And I went to bed. And I watched Jericho and Briscoe the next morning, and I watched Danielson and Moxley the next morning. And I used to be that guy. Oh my God, I gotta stay up. I gotta watch. I gotta know. And no. I feel like I'm going through like a gimmick change here on this podcast. I swear. Like, I'm not hell bent on staying up and watching all the way through. I don't really even listen to wrestling podcasts anymore. I don't know what's going on with me, man.
Is it because McAfee ruined The Rock's return for you, and then you're kind of like
possibly, and and then he ruined the Devontae Adams trade this week. Like, I don't know. I just don't know why Danielson is meant to be killed. I don't get it. I mean, Eric Young was killed literally on TNA.
Oh, that's
and
right.
He came back. Eric Young did a really good interview with Chris Van Vliet talking about how he was supposed to be a part of the original Wyatt Six. He left after he went back because somebody else came back. Like, it was a really good interview. So once you're done listening to this or watching this, go check out CVV with Eric Young. It was from last week. Speaking of podcasts, real quick, and this is a very sidebar thing. Joe, have you seen the Terrifier movies?
No, but I want to. I just haven't. I'm like into horror, and it's like I know they're like ridiculously gruesome and gory, and that's where I'm kind of like at the edge because I wasn't a big fan of the later Saw movies.
Right.
I actually want my horror movies to have somewhat of a plot. I know I love the Friday the 13th and their plots are all the same, but it's entertaining. I'm not really into the gore just for gore.
So I've never seen anything with Art the Clown.
Right.
I've been listening to a lot of interviews talking about this, and I kind of want to see them. But a friend of the show, Doc, who's a huge horror fan, like, he said, dude, I don't think you're going to make it. Like, because the way the first Terrifier movie, I believe, got its buzz and went viral is because people were throwing up in the movie theater.
Whoa.
It's that graphic.
And it
Okay.
gets worse each
Out.
sequel.
So then I got a sequel. And then the third one that just came out is the #1 movie in the country.
Mm-hmm. With no press, no commercials, because it's not rated.
Yeah. Independent.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's the highest grossing unrated movie of all time. It had the biggest opening
Wow.
weekend of something beyond R, which the old record holder was Showgirls and NC-17. But I'm kind of like against the movie too, for the fact that I've heard like the first scene, they kill a kid gruesomely.
Oh.
And that kind of like, as a teacher, that's like, see, that's drawn, that's crossing the line.
I don't know. I really want to try this,
Huh.
but I don't know if this is something I should do on an edible or with
No, maybe that's the only way you can.
maybe we do it as a watch along.
Oh.
Brian,
See, it sounds intense, guys. Man.
it does sound intense, and I don't know. Like, I really want to try it, but I'm also like curious how long I would make it because
So do like the big movie chains, are they showing this, or do you have to go to like the little like local?
No, they're
place?
Showing it because of how bad the box office has been throughout the year, and they need to make money, and the actor strike and the writer strike like killed
the pandemic.
theaters.
So
yeah,
the first movie came out straight to streaming, or Art showed up. I guess Art the Clown was in like a 10-minute short, and then they made the first movie and it went straight to streaming. And then because of the buzz, it got a 1-week theatrical release. Like $30 million or some crazy amount. So then they did a second one.
Which got released
wide. Well, it got released, but because during the pandemic stuff, and this is, I think I'm getting this right. They wrapped filming. And then before they could put the movie out, the movie Malignant came out. And it had the exact same ending as Terrifier 2. So they had to recut the ending. Then, because of the success of 2, which I think they got the first one was made on $250,000 budget. Then the second one got a $50 million budget. And I think if I understood right, this third one got a $250 million budget.
No, that's too much for a horror movie. I think this one, I think you got it a little bit mixed up. It's $250,000, I think, for the first one. The second one, because of the buzz, I think they bumped it up to like 500,000, maybe $1 million. And this new one has a $2.5 million budget, which is big for an independent horror movie. And it made $18.5 million over the weekend, which was more than the 15 part 2 made in its entire run.
Yeah, I'm a dumbass. $2 million is what this last one was made on.
Point for Joe.
Well, horror movie nerd, but yeah, this one, it's like this franchise, I get it, I get why people are into it, but I don't know if I'm into that type of horror. I like, just
suspenseful.
Well, not suspense. I kind of like them dumb.
Oh,
I like them dumb, and I like them to be like gratuitous, and I like them to be bloody. Like, I love the Evil Dead franchise.
Like boobs in your movie theater or horror
no
movie.
Because the Evil Dead doesn't have that, but it also has comedy in it too, and likable characters.
Come on, Brian, I know you want to say it.
No, I'm not saying nothing.
Come on.
I was just saying like boobs in real life, but
Joe likes
in the movies, it's fine.
Joe likes his horror movies, so I mean, it's I don't know. I just thought about that for a second. I don't know. But if you are watching
a TWP extra,
let us know in the comments.
Please
Send us a message. What are your thoughts on Terrifier 1, 2, or 3, whichever you prefer.
And back to our regularly scheduled programming. AEW Dynamite was on Wednesday night. Hey, so yeah, the continuation of, like you were saying, Jay, of we damn near murdered Bryan Danielson, and Jon Moxley's pretty intense right now, guys. There's a lot happening here.
So good. I love that promo in the truck. You all work for me now. Like, goddamn. I don't know what they're doing, and it better not be fucking Shane McMahon behind all this, but man.
I don't think it is anymore.
I don't either. Yeah, because you're right. It doesn't fit now.
Could it be Vince?
No, it doesn't.
I can't
fit.
imagine that either. I can't. It doesn't fit.
I don't know what this
I'd
is.
laugh my head off, but
I still haven't gotten past episode 1 of the Vince documentary.
Oh,
I got to
okay.
finish it this week.
Okay.
So did I. And was I right about the whole Shane going there? Makes sense now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's a
You guys
that's
should do
that's
a,
a
you guys
that's a
should do a podcast on the series.
that's not a bad idea.
There's like a full episode on like Shane's treatment from Vince.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool thing. I don't want to get into it. Maybe we will do some sort of extra thing.
Yeah. So Moxley's promo was fucking awesome. I loved it.
And how about the beatdowns? I mean, for me, guys, it felt very early NWO-ish, where we're taking over the ring, we're going backstage, we're like in the parking lot. I mean, it had those vibes, and I enjoyed it. I mean, I thought, I don't know where it's going, but I thought for one night, I was like, this is pretty damn cool.
Well, you also hate Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, I was not upset about that one.
But here's a good question though about it. Are they bad guy heels or are they the cool heels that you want to cheer?
I don't know. But my question to add on to that, Joe, there's an entire locker room in the back and nobody came to help except Jeff Jarrett, Darby Allin, and Private Party.
They were playing video games and drinking and dancing and doing exactly what Moxley said that he's sick of seeing. They didn't. Yeah.
They came out, so maybe they weren't doing that.
No, not the entire locker room. Just the ones who weren't doing it, who took AEW's brand serious. But the rest of them were just like, this doesn't concern me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And the Bucks, and of course, it has to go turn around to be the focus on the Elite.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did the whole, you're the EVPs, like, why didn't you help stop this? And they're like, that's none of our business, yeah, curious to see where it goes. I mean, I don't want to see them, a lot of the backstage stuff was with like the Dark Order and like guys who we haven't seen on TV in probably 9 months or something. So, eventually you have to start beating up the higher people on the
Here comes Action John Dreddy.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm guessing unintentionally hilarious, but John Silver running after the truck, it's like the smallest guy on the roster. You heard the crowd laugh, it's probably supposed to be this serious moment of like, they're getting away in the truck.
Right.
And you got this little dude like, and everybody's just like, ah. I don't think that was supposed to be funny, but I laughed too.
I don't think it was supposed to be on TV.
Maybe not. I don't know. It was good. I mean, that part was out of place, I thought. But
that guy needs to get on TV, so whatever he needs to do for it.
Very interesting. And we kind of had a reset too of one of the bigger feuds of AEW the last year, plus of the Adam Cole MJF thing. Adam Cole, of course, came back at Wrestle Dream, as did MJF, actually. And Adam Cole cut his promo about why he did what he did, and MJF is this, MJF is that. Guys, I don't know, man. To me, I feel like this is what should have been done a year ago, and of course, Adam Cole got hurt. And for me, I find it tough to feel that the moment hasn't passed us by, that I couldn't be excited right now for a MJF Adam Cole thing at this point. What say you?
I don't really care about it either. Yeah. The time has passed. They missed their opportunity. It's okay to move on from it. Because now it's just they're trying to force it. And the thing is, they haven't wrestled a match with each other yet, but there's been 3 face turns.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really care. I mean, look, it's going to be a fun match. I thought Cole's promo was good. Really enjoyed it. So I didn't like the Masterpiece Theater MJF promo that, answering the call there, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Thought it was a little interesting because like you said, Joe, they've been heel and face and time off and heel and fit and kind of switched all around. So it's like, all right, we're going to try it this time.
And is Undisputed Kingdom still a thing? And
maybe they're a thing without Cole.
he shouted him out like
Where's
he's like,
Wardlow?
Roddy, but yeah, it's there's a lot of selective memory things I think you can place with this whole feud of like, yeah, what about this guy? What happened to him?
I think Wardlow should have been what Braun Breaker is right now.
Agreed.
Running through people, smashing people, just misused. It's so sad because he's so good.
Really.
Lance Archer should have been that way too.
Yeah, Archer too. But some reason they put the luchadors with Jake Roberts. That makes no sense.
Right.
And now Lance Archer and Brian Cage are in the Don Callis family.
I have a theory
reasons.
on why guys like Wardlow and Archer don't get sustained pushes. Look who's in charge. Napoleon complex wrestlers, little guys who are always told the big guys are taking over their spots. So they hire these big guys and they push them down in the card. So all these acrobatic, smaller wrestlers are the ones who get. I mean, look at it: the Young Bucks, Darby, Jack Perry, Adam Cole, Ricochet, Osprey. I mean, Osprey's a big guy, but still, the monsters are being treated like cruiserweights in AEW, and it's because of who's in charge.
I think Cage and Archer work as a team. What they're going to do with Callis and Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita, I have no idea how that's all going to play out. But overall, I think the Cage Archer team works because they're big fucking guys. That should be the name of their team.
Yeah.
BFGs.
Fucking guys.
And then we could have
FTR bus BFG.
Wow, it's an initial battle royal. What was the Bronson Reed quote? I think you said, Jay, that like if things don't work out, was it him and Otis or the Natural Disasters part
Disasters.
2? Let's go. Let's line them up too with Archer and Cage. Man, I love that.
He's good.
Beef all around. But I did want to shout out. I thought Shelton Benjamin looked great. Him and Leo Rush was great. Yeah.
2 weeks ago on this show, and I'm like, I'm supposed to get excited for Shelton Benjamin. I must have forgot how good he was. Wow. And working with a guy like Leo Rush, who's so much smaller than him, who can bump and just be tossed around. God damn, that was awesome. And that is the Shelton's tights. First time Hurt Syndicate showed up on TV. It was on the business card, but not really. You had to really zoom in to see it. But man, is he good.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first time he's had a match that's been over 5 minutes long for so long.
True, but
like there were people who were complaining that it went too long, and I'm like, no, he was showcasing. And what he was doing, what it reminded me of, I'm glad that we're talking about Shelton Benjamin because he deserves this.
Yeah, me too.
It's like he's Brock Lesnar of AEW. Suplex after suplex, while MVP's like his Paul Heyman, who is going to be his mouthpiece and is just going to be like talking him up the whole time. Shelton can be what he should have been in WWE and AEW, and it's not too late because he is a sick athletic freak.
I think he's like 52 years old and doesn't look it.
No. Joe, I kind of had a similar and a slightly different respect with the Brock Lesnar comparison. Of course, we know that they were boys back in the Minnesota days, but I think he was announced as weighing like 265.
Uh-huh.
And Jay, if I'm correct, isn't that like the UFC like heavyweight limit?
Yeah, it's as much as you could be.
That, and so like I was thinking about that, like that's what Brock was always weighing in at in the UFC days, and I'm like, God damn, Shelton is if that weight is legitimate, it could be a work weight of like, oh, they threw on 10 more pounds, so who knows? The point is, yeah, he's being billed as big as Brock Lesnar when he was fighting for the UFC heavyweight title. I was like, Jesus, this is a monster version of Shelton Benjamin that I don't remember seeing before. I was impressed.
And he's 49.
Now with
40 what?
49.
49. With this version of Shelton Benjamin, is Lashley needed?
No.
I don't think so
not
either.
Needed, but it's a cherry on top of the sundae.
No, I think it's a distraction. It takes away from Shelton.
Joe,
well,
I think
we'll have to see, but
what Lashley we get.
Yeah.
Look what we got with Shelton. Who's to say we don't get a new version of Lashley that we never were able to get in WWE?
Get your TNA version back, like you said. There's
We had
ways
that
to do it.
version of Lashley during the Thunderdome days.
Yeah, no, I'm until I see something that I'm not feeling with Bobby Lashley, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt of going, yeah, this is going to work out and this will be good because he's a fantastic performer. All right, let's go on to the PWI. They did the top 10 male wrestlers a couple weeks ago. It looks like they're rolling out the women. I'm presuming they're doing 500, but the top 10 are out now. Let me run them down for you from 10 to 1. Number 10 is Athena. Number 9, Mariah May. Number 8, Willow Nightingale. Number 7 is Bailey. Number 6 is Sari from New Japan. Number 5, the aforementioned Stephanie Vaquer. Number 4, Meika, also from a Stardom New Japan. Number 3, Rhea Ripley. Number 2, Jordan Grace. And number 1, Toni Storm. Guys, what do you think? How's that list treating for you?
Roxanne Perez should have been in the top 10.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But look,
Rhea should have been number 1.
Really?
Yeah. She's money. She's a main eventer. She should have been number 1. Toni Storm, I'm okay with number 2, but Rhea should have been number 1.
Wow, Joe, you're so wrong.
Why?
I agree. No, I agree with Joe.
What?
Why? Why am I wrong? Why am I wrong? Rhea could be like in the top 500, top 20 for overall wrestlers. Would Toni Storm be in that one?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Toni Storm, I'm okay with being number 2, but not Rhea number 3. That's just them trying to push WWE down.
So
and out of that top 10, how many were in the WWE? 3?
Let's see. Rhea, Bailey. That's it.
Just Rhea. So 2.
That's it.
Yeah, that's
Jordan
just their way of. That's
Jordan
just
Grace
their way
appeared,
of.
But
that's their way of giving an FU to the WWE and putting Rhea at number 3 when realistically she should have been number 1. Toni Storm number 2, I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Rhea is, look where Rhea works and the people she works with, men and women.
Yeah.
And you look at what Toni Storm has done in the last year with this timeless character and the matches she's having. I think that it's way better than what Rhea did because Toni stood out, whereas Rhea also got hurt. So I don't know if this is a timetable thing, like the one count,
That's what I was going to say. That might be the one thing that's a drawback of she was inactive for 4 months or whatever.
But I think in the grand scheme of things of where these women work, Toni is more valuable there than what Rhea is at WWE. I'm not saying she's not valuable because of course she is, but in the grand scheme of where they work, I think that would factor in of, and look, I mean, the Toni Storm stuff was perfect every time.
Yeah,
she give him all the credit.
This character and timeless and everything she does always hits the mark. It's actually so impressive because no clue that this could be from the Toni Storm that we knew from WWE and NXT.
No. And I'm not dogging Toni Storm. I said I'd be happy with her being number 2, but Rhea's number 1.
Number 2 is the first loser, Joe.
Okay, so number 3, the bronze medal winner, is the top woman in the WWE. Come on,
Liv Morgan's the top woman in WWE.
Liv Morgan didn't even make the top 10.
But again, she was hurt too for a while. So I'm that's where I don't give these lists all the credence in the world. But I think it's interesting.
Listen, I take this to heart as much as I take ESPN's quarterback rating list, and it has Jared Goff as the 25th ranked quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Really?
Is that for real?
No, that's for real. They have him ranked on the QBR list. That's ESPN has Jared Goff, who went perfect in one game.
Yeah, he had a perfect game.
And he hasn't thrown an interception in 3 games.
Okay.
And the offense is running on all cylinders, and they have him below Dak and Flacco. And I mean, these lists are just for conversation pieces is what we're doing, but realistically, Jason agrees that Toni Storm is number 1. So that's his list. Fine. That's all these lists are, just basically conversation starters.
Yeah. No, I didn't hate the list, but I think Jay, you hit on the head of the no Roxanne Perez. That's like, oh boy, that's a
No Liv.
that's a glaring omission. Maybe she's 11. Who knows? But yeah, no Liv. But I guess she was hurt for a while. So like, if that's how they do the
But when was the
criteria,
last time Tony Storm wrestled?
When she lost her title.
All in.
yeah, all
That was
out,
August.
right?
That was 2 months. That was 2 months ago.
And because her character is timeless, she can come back from any decade. I want her to be like Beyonce in the Austin Powers Gold member.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That's
like
the-
70s? You want her to have like
70s. Yeah, 70s. That's what I want.
I don't hate it because I think she could pull it off from what we've seen. So.
and then she gets injured again and she comes back 80s like Tiffany style, like big
Yes.
hair.
Yeah.
And the 90s Lilith Fair grunge, Alanis Morissette.
Grow out her pit hair.
Yeah.
Oh no, Brian, you went too far.
No, he didn't. That would make it.
I lived through the 90s. I saw it, man.
So
What
did
do
I.
I tell you?
Lilith Fair, Tony Storm.
Who will save your soul? It's just like a jewel there. I don't know why.
Oh, she's gonna come out with an acoustic guitar and a flannel shirt wrapped around her jean shorts and Doc Martens.
Yes.
That would be cool.
Lilith Fair, Tony Storm. That's what I want.
Timeless.
Call up RJ City. We got some ideas, Jay. That's good stuff. All right, we'll move on to a little game I came up with for this week because there's a couple of wrestling personalities in the news this week for some similar reasons, maybe a little different reason, but kind of a couple of different angles I want to address with each of these individuals. So the game is called Want or Need, and we're going to answer that with these three individuals I'm about to mention here. So each question for each wrestler. Number one is Brock Lesnar. He was referenced twice on this past Monday Night's Raw. And Jay, I'm sure your radar was going boop, 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 just like it was for Goldberg a couple weeks ago, right? So that brings the speculation of, is he going to be coming back soon? Fightful says there's no creative plans at this time. We know he was named in this Janelle Grant Vince lawsuit, so there's that whole tricky thing. So we first go off with the want question. I'll start with you, Jay. Do you want Brock back in WWE?
Fuck yeah, I do.
It's either want or need.
Fuck yeah, I want.
Well, it's a yes. It's a yeah. Do you want yes or no? You can say yes, I do want, or no, I don't. Okay, that's definitive. And what do you think? Does WWE need Brock Lesnar back?
Yeah, because Brock makes money. Dollars make sense, or whatever that saying is.
If it makes dollars, it makes sense.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Bring him back.
All right, Joe. Same to you, man. Do you want Brock back in WWE?
Yes. I want Brock back in WWE. If he's coming back, that's where he needs to be.
And number two, again, then what does WWE need Brock Lesnar back?
No, they don't need him because they're already making money hand over fist, and they have a full roster on all brands that are bringing in the money. And the top money makers are still Cody and Roman. So they don't need him to make money because they're making plenty right now.
I kind of feel like I'm also like, yes, I'd like to see him back. Kind of that same analogy I used of like with how WWE right now is. Brock again is that like cherry on top of the sundae. You don't really need the cherry. You got your ice cream, you got your whipped cream, you got your chocolate syrup, maybe you got some peanuts in there or something. You don't really need the cherry, but you don't hate the cherry. I kind of feel like that's how it is with Brock and WWE because it's so on fire. And, even specifically talking about like a guy like him and who he is as a wrestler, you've built up guys like Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker and these guys who are kind of like the bigger, more explosive type of guys that Brock would fill that void when those guys weren't around, when those guys weren't even performers. So I don't think they need him, but I'm not going to hate it if it happens. Number two, AJ Lee, of course, Mrs. CM Punk story came out this week. And really, Punk's been back now for almost a year. And that was a question, I think, from the very beginning was, is AJ Lee going to come back? So the story this week is WWE is reportedly totally on board with AJ Lee returning. They're basically waiting for her to say, I'm in. Jay, start with you. Do you want AJ Lee back in WWE?
No.
Why is that?
Her style, I don't know if it's going to mesh with the current style of WWE. Remember, he was there in the Divas era.
Yeah.
So
That's a legit question.
I do not want her back.
Does WWE need AJ Lee back? Okay.
And Roxanne and Cora in NXT. There you go. Better. That's better AJ Lee.
I gotcha. Joe, same question. Do you want AJ Lee back in WWE?
I don't know if you could tell by my reaction, but Jason stole my answer word for word with the no, I don't want her back because her style doesn't fit where they are now. She was the best of the Divas era because her style was different than what we were getting the 3-minute matches, the Bella type of matches. Yeah. I think she would be exposed if she came back, and it's better off that we leave the memories alone and think fondly of her not only as a Divas champion but as a character. It doesn't fit in this era.
Yeah.
So obviously they don't need her either.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, you guys are in lockstep. I mean, I want to see it. I kind of feel like it's been a minute since we've had the return of the legends of Trish Stratus. Lita had a little run, people like that. Like it's been a minute. Becky Lynch has been gone for a while.
And how did those work out?
Mixed results.
Exactly.
Lita not so good. Trish, I think, turned out pretty well. So yeah, it could, even if it is just a Royal Rumble thing and maybe one match after, I think that would be pretty cool to see.
We got Michelle McCool for that.
Yes. But AJ was so popular, like you said. It's guys, I agree. That's the biggest question is could she adapt to the style of today's women's wrestlers?
No,
who's to say she can't?
She hasn't been in the ring for so long.
But we don't know.
Oh, yeah, really? On heels. She did get in the ring for heels. I doubt she had a stunt person for that, so she might be able to still go. But I don't think it's for me. Nah, I'm good.
Okay, all right. Finally, number 3, Kevin Owens. His contract is expiring in early 2025. The latest word is he's very close to resigning with WWE. He may even have a handshake deal and just waiting to put pen to paper. Jay, you go first. Do you want Kevin Owens to stay in WWE?
Yeah.
Okay. You know that there was that question to the Young Bucks on that panel of who would you like to have on the roster in AEW?
I don't. I want him to stay.
Yeah.
Do they need him? No, but it's cool to have him, like the everyman for the most part. So I don't want him. I don't want him to go to AEW.
Maybe that's even the better question to flip around: is does AEW need Kevin Owens?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the better question because every single answer of does WWE need, the answer is no. They don't need anyone. The machine's still going to be going.
Yeah.
Do I want Kevin Owens to say yes? Because no matter what he does, he makes it shine. He can always be put into the main event and be legit. He's a character on any show that just makes people interested in what's going on. And he's a remote dropper is what I call him. When he's on, you don't even think of looking at your phone or changing the channel. You're watching whatever he's doing because you're either going to be amazed by it or you're going to be entertained by it. Like, oh, I can't believe he said that. That's hilarious. So do I want him to stay there? Yes, absolutely. Does AEW need him? Yes, absolutely. And then they'll screw him over. Kevin Steen will be back on Collision and then eventually and catering with Keith Lee.
That's not a place you want to be. I'm sure the catering's lovely, but Yeah, that's not the best use of
What about
Kevin's
you,
team.
Brian?
Yeah, want him to stay. It's crazy to think he's probably been there for like 10 years now or something to that effect, kind of NXT. So it's like, God, you have been there a long, long time. No, WWE doesn't need him to come back, but I mean, I think it would be, it would be a little effect because of the reasons like you guys said. I mean, he's so consistent, right? He's just so consistent. He's entertaining as hell in the ring. He's a fun promo. He's just a multi-dimensional type of player where you can have him in the main event, you can have him in tag teams, he can do comedy. We've seen him do that before, so who
And
wouldn't
he's
want to have a
legit.
guy like that? Yeah,
He can whoop up on someone. You're like, yeah, he could really do that. Him and Randy Orton are a perfect team because they're so similar.
yeah. No, it's they're different on the exterior, but similar in methods. And I saw they're kind of
yeah.
They kind of continuation of like that viral video of him attacking Cody. They kind of did another one with him attacking Randy. They're like Sports Illustrated has obtained footage, and I saw
I'll
go ahead, Jay. Well, I saw KO did a little promo on Twitter, basically, talking it up of like, I was sorry to interrupt the SmackDown Women's Tag match, but they cut my mic off, and I'm trying to say and everything. So that those angles are continuing. So that's pretty cool to see.
And I know this has been said a million times, but I loved he was wearing a Dusty shirt.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
You didn't realize he was wearing a Dusty shirt?
No.
Trying to make his case about being against Cody, and it was Dusty's birthday too, so that like was even like another jab in there. When he came out with the Dusty shirt, I'm like, man, I love this guy.
Oh, okay. I saw they re-released the original KO shirt, like the NXT that's like the duct tape, but it's like slightly darker tape.
Oh, because they did it in blue and they've done it in red and they did it in
I have one too, so I'll just keep it as I'll keep it as
that's an underrated shirt. Yeah. I don't know if we need that.
It's his Austin 316 shirt. They can release it in different colors. Oh, blood red. There you go. There's the next one.
Yeah, exactly. All right. And speaking of SmackDown, here's what we are seeing as of recording. It's on tap. We've got Andrade versus Carmelo, Part 7. How many Jaws movies were there, Joe? Like
4. But
what movie franchises had 7? Like Nightmare on Elm Street?
No, yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street had 7 if you're not counting Freddy versus Jason.
Loved Freddy versus Jason.
If you don't count that or the remake, then it had 7. The last one was New Nightmare, which is a very good movie. Those are the type of horror movies I like.
All right. So we got Part 7. I appreciate both of those guys doing the insult line of put the fries in the bag. That's been a part that I've really enjoyed from those guys' feud. We've got the Garzas versus a tag team to be determined, and Joe's holding up the mitten.
I got my handy dandy map right here.
We got the rumors.
Did you see Ciampa was doing that when he said there's a new team coming out next week, and he was going, "Oh, what this?" And he was pressing his right hand.
Yeah, so excited to see how that goes.
That's how you tell people where you're from, where you live. It's like, okay, well, Detroit's here. I grew up here, and as I went to school here, and yeah.
So
I don't want to see what people do from Florida. No.
No, we don't. No.
Florida man points out to where he lives. I'm from Key West.
What? Touching his ankles. What the hell?
I think you need a Jimmy Buffett kind of like flower shirt. We're gonna be Florida man, Joe. Oh. You gotta get a Hawaiian shirt for next week. So man,
I think I have one.
Meets Coney Ton,
okay, so we got Florida man, we got Alabama man, and we got Coney.
Yeah,
Kevin, bring it. You got to bring something yourself.
Geography jokes here. This is crazy. All right, so we got those guys. We've got and then it's just a whole lot of Randy Orton's going to appear. Roman Reigns is going to appear. Kevin Owens saga's continuing. So that's kind of on tap for SmackDown this week. I think that's it for this week, guys. Appreciate all of our listeners, our viewers. Thank you for supporting the show. Of course, we want to keep with the interactions. I saw one or two funny lines on the social media of the caption of Hangman Page's laying on the ground.
That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen on TV. Is he like trying not to be seen?
For what I read, I think yes, but what I read was I think Christian did the same thing. Like it was part of like the Owen Hart Cup tournament, and he did that, and so he was kind of like, throwing that back at him or something. But I didn't know either. I just went, is Hangman just insane at this point? Maybe he is. So yeah. Anyway, the point is we love the interaction, so keep it coming. Leave us a comment on our YouTube. Leave a review if you're listening to the audio pod. Hopefully you're listening to this like the day that we put it out, unlike last week. Thank you, SoundCloud.
Oh, yeah. Apologies.
Yeah.
Because SoundCloud had an issue. And that's who our host is.
Yeah.
It went on to Apple Podcasts midday Friday, I think. And then SoundCloud, I think, came up on like Tuesday. So, yeah. Sorry, guys. Not our.
Yep. Send your hate mail to SoundCloud.
It was the government hackers after we were talking about this. They're like, we'll show you, TWP.
It is Joe's fault. So.
It is my fault. Blame me.
It all happened that way. Jeez. All right. Well, hopefully we kept things on the straight and narrow this week. It's youtube.com/That Wrestling Podcast. And at That WrestlePod is all the social media. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. As always, enjoy wrestling. We will talk to you next week.
Stories rule.
Yeah, they do.
Thanks for watching That Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for more That Wrestling Podcast content, follow at That WrestlePod on social media.